Welcome to another edition of Homeopathy with Dr. Bakshi, and we shall be continuing our conversation on the largest organ in your body, the skin, that absorbs the highest exposure to the environment and the atmosphere. The skin, its health, tells us a great deal about your overall state of health. Dr. Bakshi, thank you once again for speaking to us about the skin. Eczema is a very common disorder. What is it? Why is it? How is it?
You see, eczema is an inflammatory condition, and eczema is of two types, dry and watery. It never starts immediately as an eczema. Usually the patient develops a little itch. And when you apply some external ointment, it gets immediately cured, and the patient feels that he is relieved, that problem is gone. But after a few days, it comes back again. The patient keeps on applying and it gets better. This process keeps on going. When it becomes a chronic condition, that ointments, external ointments, they do not work. It leads to spreading and itching with watery discharge comes. It becomes from simple rash to wet eczema, and this means the body is toxic. Your body is toxic. You need to take internal medicine. You need to build up your immunity. You have to detox your body. In simpler words, you have to detox your body, take homeopathic medicine, and you'll find immediately, in most of the cases, the cure takes place. Eczema is very easy in homeopathy to cure.
Dr. Bakshi has talked about detoxification of the body. Do I therefore assume that chemical products and crude medicines do not facilitate the process of removing toxins from the body?
On the contrary, my experience shows that by taking crude medicines, you are furthering damaging your system. When you take crude medicines, they produce side effects. They will give temporary relief to one organ, but shift that disease to something else. For example, if you have eczema and you take internal and external medication, not homeopathy, other medication, I'm talking about allopathy, it will suppress, it will not cure, I repeat again and again. And you may develop some stomach problems. You may develop respiratory. The most common is a respiratory. I've seen when you're treating a patient of eczema with external applications, patient starts sneezing with nasal blocking, tendency to catch cough and cold. What does that mean? That means from one plane, from skin, it has shifted to a second plane, which is respiratory. And respiratory is the internal organ. It is skin. Skin is internal and external. When it gets shifted to that area, that means you are producing side effects of crude medicines. So be careful. When you treat a patient, the patient must feel better as a whole. As a whole, he must say, I am feeling better. My sleep is better. I have no internal problems. My skin is looking healthy. That means you're heading towards permanent cure.
Some of us have heard of a disorder called urticaria. Some doctors believe that if one has urticaria, then one must live with it for the rest of one's life. What does Dr. Bakshi, the world's greatest homeopath, think about urticaria?
You see, urticaria is a condition when the histamines are released from the cell, allowing plasma to escape. It produces inflammation. It produces inflammation on the skin and the eyes. You could develop edemas. And it can be threatening. They develop angioneuric edemas. Your larynx get inflamed. You're not able to breathe also. And allopaths keep on giving antihistamine drugs, steroids. But homeopathy works almost 100% in all the patients of urticaria. And urticaria, you'll find when you treat the patient, we immediately do not stop allopathy medicine. We tell them, once you're starting feeling better, taper off allopathy medicines. And slowly, within in 90% of patients, within 2 months, all allopathy medicines are reduced or stopped, and patient goes for cure. Only I've seen in exceptionally very chronic cases which are suffering for 20 years. I other day saw a patient who said, I had not slept for one night. I keep my comb on my bedside. At night I get attacks of urticaria. I keep on scratching my skin and see this bleeding. The skin starts bleeding. But with homeopathy, when we give medicine, we don't stop, and I'm very happy to say that it works almost 90%, a patient is cured.
When I was a teenager, not so long ago, I used to be upset about the eruptions on the skin of my face called acne. So are all teenagers necessarily condemned to live with acne, or is acne related only to those who are in the prime of their youth?
See, you have to understand why teenagers suffer. Because the body heat is too much. And these heat produces inflammations on the skin. But what about patients who are 50 to 60 years old, they get acne? Patient comes and asks us, Doctor, I am 50. Why am I suffering from acne? Basically, this is not acne. This is allergic rashes. And these allergic rashes, you see more in teenagers. And one associated symptom you'll see in acne, in most of the patients, itching. With acne, you get itching and pustules coming on the skin. That is because of secondary infection. And when itching is there, 100% it is allergic disorder. And homeopathy works almost 100%. You see from the photographs, before and after, how homeopathy has cured practically all the patients without any external application, without any suppression. And very bad cases you are seeing on the screen, very bad cases of acne with so much of pustules, they have been treated not with external application, but with internal medicine, and it takes time, maybe 1 year or 2 years of treatment, but I'm very happy that homeopathy has a very good cure for acne.
Thank you, Dr. Bakshi, for demystifying acne. There is another eruption that we are all terrified of, irrespective of where we live or of what our age is. This we refer to as warts on the skin. Can homeopathy deal with them?
You know, homeopathy is known for warts. And warts, we can show you photographs before and after. You don't need cauterization. When you remove the wart surgically, it comes back again. It comes back in a very bad manner. You cauterize one, you find 3, 4 more coming. And when you treat with homeopathy medicine, a very simple medicine like Thuja 30, antimony crude, causticum, these common medicines of homeopathy, and you take it regularly, and almost all patients of warts are cured. Those warts which are embedded on the skin, they are very, very thick, they take some time. But otherwise, all warts, I think in a few months, they disappear.
Related to warts is another eruption known as corns, and sometimes we also have tags on the neck. Can homeopathy deal with them too?
It is very interesting to note that all corns with one simple medicine, antimony crude 30, maybe 200, you try it on 10 patients and see the results. Give it 3 times a day and patient says, where are my corns gone? Even warts, I've seen in 1 week, 200 warts falling away. But as far as tags are concerned, tags are hereditary. You find it on the neck, you find it on the armpits. They are not cured with homeopathy. You need surgical interference to remove them. But corns, warts, they are all 100% curable with homeopathy.
In an earlier conversation with Dr. Bakshi on homeopathy, we had talked about hair loss. Some of us have this issue of dandruff on the scalp. Can that be treated?
We have to understand why do we suffer from dandruff. Basically, dandruff is an allergic condition, and you get scales on the scalp. The skin starts oozing. When the skin dries up, the scales are formed. And people use anti-dandruff shampoos. All shampoos wash away your dandruff for 4 to 5 days. Then you start itching and you start getting scales again. It is the first stage of psoriasis. Please don't miss. People use anti-dandruff. I say dandruff is the first stage of psoriasis, or you may call it seborrhea, seborrheic dermatitis. You need only internal medications. I have yet to see failure in seborrheic dermatitis with homeopathy after treating millions of patients of skin, treated by not only by me, by other homeopaths. All dandruff are controlled. All dandruff patients are under homeopathy treatment are cured. And secondly, with dandruff, you may develop some scales of psoriasis on the arms. They also disappear with homeopathy.
The skin is related to the clothes that we wear. Is there a particular type of clothing that is more suitable for us than others? Cottons, for example, versus synthetics? What does Dr. Bakshi think?
See, your skin needs to breathe. All synthetic nylon clothes are not allowed in homeopathy. It's not the question of homeopathy or allopathy. The skin needs to breathe. Use cotton. Cotton is always helpful for skin conditions.
And we have one more question as far as the skin is concerned. Some people tell us that you have skin disorders, then a good massage with a strong oil will cure every issue, including dandruff and hair loss. Is that a myth or is it reality?
When you massage a patient, the skin is already sensitive. You're bringing friction on the skin. It will aggravate. Skin conditions will become worse. So please do not massage for any skin conditions. It is not healthy. It will make your case worse. And one more thing I want to tell you, that with dandruff you have falling of hair also. Why? Because the follicles, they get inflamed and the discharge keeps on coming. And when you give homeopathy medicine, inflammation is controlled, the roots become stronger, and you get very good cure in homeopathy for falling of hair also.
Thank you for being with us as we were talking with Dr. Bakshi, an outstanding son of India and one of the greatest homeopaths in the world, about the skin and its disorders, including hair loss. Keep writing to us because we would like to find out what you think of the episodes that you have seen so far and your interest in homeopathy. Our email is cure@baksan.net. I repeat, cure@baksan.net. We look forward to hearing from you. You have been watching Homeopathy with Dr. Bakshi.